with Patrick Campos, head coach of the Dubai Barracudas, who won out here today over the Doha Desert Swarm in their first game on Qatari soil, 44-6. Patrick, coming into this game, what was your offensive game plan? Because you were able to put up a lot of points.
Well, originally we had a plan to get to the edge. Coming out here, we were playing on a pretty small field, and so that plan went out the window just a little bit there. But we knew we were going up against a physical team. We knew we had to win the battle up front, and as advertised, the Desert Swarm were, very physical. It was a tough, grinded out kind of game. The scoreboard doesn't really reflect how hard fought it was, but we knew that we were going to have to. Fight to get yardage, and fortunately Keeon was able to break some big ones, and I think that was pretty much a difference in the game.
What has Keeon Swamy brought to your team that other players don't have? He seems to have MVP caliber that other players just don't have in this league.
Well, I think what people notice, first of all, about Keeon is his moves on the field. But as a coach, that's sort of the second thing that I notice about him. Number one, he's a very, very smart football player. He knows the game. He calls the plays a lot. He'll see things on the field and come over and say, "Hey, coach, why don't we try this?" And he's a very savvy, very experienced football player. And I think that's when he's making his moves on the field, he's making them from the perspective of a guy who understands the game and understands what the defense is doing. So first and foremost, that's what he brings to the table, and he helps make everyone else around him smart as well during the game.
Now, the opposite team, the Doha Desert Swarm, took a beatdown today, but you've been on the other end of beatdowns before. What advice do you give their coaches, players, and fans?
Well, listen, our varsity team last year went defeated. We were probably this Desert Swarm team would have pretty much beaten down our team last year. So we're on sort of a worst to first track right now, but we don't forget sort of what it's like to be there. But to be very honest with you, as I told the coaches, and by the way, hats off to the coaching staff for the Swarm. Great group of guys, but also very smart football coaches. We could see it out there. But as I told them, after 5 years in the league and seeing teams develop, they are, a quantum leap ahead of teams in the league in the first season, even the second season of the AFL. So they're really accelerating on that learning curve, and I expect them to really be a contender. Hey, come playoff time, I don't think that they're going to be an easy out.
Not only are you the head coach of the Barracudas, you overlook the youth operations of the league. What does it mean to get to add another team to the league on the youth side of the football?
Well, first of all, for the league, just adding clubs is great. Not just from the perspective of the prestige of the league, which is great, but really because it's more kids playing football. Now we have kids playing football in Doha, and big shout out to Ibrahim Fletcher, who had this vision, wanted to really have football going here. Approached us. We had a conversation that's basically lasted a year and culminated, in this. And that's really what it means for the league. We got kids playing football in Doha, a program that's growing. The AFL, planting a flag sort of on a foreign shore, so to speak, but all part of one big football family here in the Gulf.
And your trip out here, how's the experience been?
Great. Okay, if we don't count a delayed flight and a small football field, but we'll get that stuff sorted out. These are growing pains in terms of an expansion, but just coming out here and playing football, traveling with the team is great. Love being with those guys and the families that came out. The officials, and Dustin, who came out here and basically single-handedly put this whole field together. But look, it's part of a dream. I know for Ibrahim, it is a dream literally come true to have this game going on, and I feel the same way.